Every now and then we get devices in the tech world that you just fall in love with. And this happens to be one of those times. The Galaxy S20 Fan Edition 5G. This is my full review. Let's talk about it. What up, Digital Slang? Welcome back. The Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. This is my full review. I have been using this phone since it came out last week. My SIM has been in it. I do have the Cloud Red. We're going to talk about it. You know, there's something so clean and simple about this phone. When I use it, I just have a really good time. It's just a joy to use. This has been, and I'm shocked I'm saying this has been my favorite phone to use this year. And yes, above the Fold 2, above the Note 20 Ultra, above the 4A, this has been my favorite phone of the year so far. And the reason for that is because of value, bang for buck. When I pay for a premium device like the Fold 2, I'm expecting to love that, right? I'm expecting to have a great experience. I'm paying $2,000 for that phone. I'm expecting, I have high expectations, and it did come through, but you're paying a premium. And it's no different with the Note, the S Pen and the Note, giant screen, 6.9-inch display on there. It's the same thing. I already know kind of what I'm getting, and it always comes out to be true, but you're paying a premium. The Note 20, when I bought it, was $1,300. This phone here, $699, and value, bang for buck. What you get and what you pay for makes this phone the best valued phone of the year for me up to this point. So what do we get with the Fan Edition? First off, we get colors, right? How many times do we want better colors on our premium devices, right? Imagine these colors on the Note 20 series or the Fold 2. Give us some more colors on the high-end phones. Why do we always have to wait for the budget models to get really cool colors? So again, 6 colors. I did go with the Cloud Red. It also comes in navy, lavender, mint, white, and orange. So 6 colors total. Now, the build quality on this phone, this is where you can see the price point. It's a plastic phone. It's Glastic. Call it whatever you want. Polycarbonate, Glastic. It's a plastic phone. Saying that, it does kind of have that gradient look to it, right? That cloud look. Cloud Red is a really good name for it. It looks sharp. And what I also like about it, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels good in the hand. And because it's plastic, you want to talk about a lightweight phone? This is it. This phone is super light. If you compare it and hold it next to a different phone, the Note 20 feels twice as heavy. The Fold 2, forget about it. It's just insanely heavy compared to this phone. So build quality on here, it's a plastic phone, but it does feel premium. It does not feel cheap in any way. And because of the build, it is very lightweight. Now the bezels on here are slightly bigger than on the S20 models. The S20, the S20 Plus, the S20 Ultra, a little slimmer bezels, but you are not going to really have any problems with the bezels on here. Watching content is just a joy. It's a 6.5-inch Infinity O display. It's an OLED, full HD, 1080p. You do have the hole punch here. Now your hole punch here, it does have a hint of color to it, kind of a hint of silver. When the screen is off, you can see on the Note 20 Ultra, that hole punch is blacked out. But on here, you can see it is kind of colored. So I think they did that on purpose to kind of separate their higher end phones from their lower end phones. But for me, it's not an issue. I never have a problem with it. And overall, again, watching content on here, the 6.5-inch display, it is just a joy to use. I don't care that it's not Quad HD. Full HD on here looks fantastic. No problems whatsoever. Now they do give us the optical fingerprint sensor on here, and I'm a big fan of that. Look, I talked about this in my Pixel 4a video on the back. On the Pixel 4a, the fingerprint sensor is on the back, and it's kind of a great place for it, right? Your finger just falls to that point normally. But if you're gonna give me something on a phone in display, this is fine. It works really well. I've never had an issue with it. Bixby, man, go away. I've never had an issue with it, and I just think it works really good. I actually have more problems on my Note than I do with this in-display fingerprint sensor. So no problems there. I think it works very good for what it is. Now, specs on here, Snapdragon 865, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of expandable storage. So again, value, bang for buck. What are we getting here? You're getting one of the best processors in 2020, right? It's not the Plus, but honestly, you're not going to notice a difference between the Plus and the regular 865. You're just not. 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. Okay, that's where they cut corners, right? On the Note 20 Ultra, 12 gigs of RAM. So about half as much, but for doing what you need to do on a phone. If you're not a heavy gamer, it's not going to be an issue at all. And I'm not a heavy gamer. I don't really ever play games on my phone. Now, this also is running Android 10 One UI, and you are going to get at least 3 years of software updates on here. So with all the internals, with all the specs, this phone is going to be very fast for years to come. And at this price point, imagine what this phone is going to cost next year. We know Samsung's phones do not hold their value as much as, say, iPhones do. So in a year, year and a half, this phone, you're going to be able to get this phone for $300, $350. Steal at that price. Again, value, crazy value with the S20 Fan Edition. Now, one of my favorite things about this phone is the flat display. I'm a huge fan, and I talk about this in many of my videos of flat displays. I do not like curved displays at all. They look good, they feel good in the hand, but accidental touches are real for me. It happens all the time, and I just hate it. I really hate it. I dislike curved displays a lot, and that's why I love iPhones. They all have flat displays. This, the Note 20 regular version, which that phone shouldn't exist, but I wish we can get, like, give me the Note 20. If you have an S Pen, it should be a flat display, hands down. It shouldn't be curved if you're rocking an S Pen. So flat displays on here, again, value bang for buck. That is one of my favorite things about using this phone is the display. Now, another thing about this phone that has been fantastic has been battery life. A 4,500 milliamp battery in here. And I have yet to had to charge this phone up throughout the day. I take it off the charger in the morning. I plug it in when I go to sleep at night, and it has lasted me throughout the day. And usually I end up with about 10-15% juice left on my phone at the end of the day. And I consider myself a heavy user. I'm on it watching videos while I'm working, text messages, phone calls, social media all day long. And battery life is great. So again, value bang for buck. What else do we get? 120 hertz refresh rate. It's amazing, buttery smooth, not a deal breaker if it doesn't have it, but once you use it, once you have it, it's just an added benefit. It's like putting that whipped cream on top of ice cream. It's just that extra layer of buttery goodness, right? It's just something so smooth. For me, it's not a deal breaker. iPhones have 60 hertz, and yet they are very smooth. But when you use it for an extended period of time and you go back to something that's 60 hertz, you notice a big difference, and you just do. Again, it's not a deal breaker for me personally. Some people might not feel that way. But the fact that you have it at this price point, come on. What are we getting here? 6.5 inch, full HD display, 120 hertz, incredible battery life, plastic phone with wireless charging, fast wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, fast charging, quick charge. This thing can do it all. When we talk about value bang for buck, what do we want? We want our phone to do everything. Okay, and we're losing a little bit when it comes to build quality, right? The build quality on the Note 20 Ultra, fantastic. But I'll take it for $699. I'll take it. It's that simple. I will give up some of the bells and whistles if you can give me a phone that I just love everything about it, that works well, that gives me a full day of battery life, 120 hertz, full HD display, very bright in sunlight, right? Brightness isn't the problem. Maxed out specs, pretty much for the most part. 128 gigs of storage with expandable storage, up to a terabyte. I believe it's a terabyte. Let's talk about the 3 cameras on the back. We do have 3 lenses, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 12 megapixel wide, and an 8 megapixel telephoto. I could care less for the telephoto, but your normal pictures, it just takes good pictures. It's not the best, right? There are better cameras out there. The Pixel 4a, the iPhones, even the Note 20 Ultra it does take slightly better pictures, but I'm not a professional photographer. If I take a picture, guess where it's going? It's going on Twitter, it's going on Facebook, it's going on my social media pages, on YouTube, something like that. I don't need the greatest picture all the time. This will give me good pictures all the time. Do I need more than that? Does your everyday user need more than that? No. This takes great pictures, a little oversaturated, and we know that's what Samsung's profile is. Kind of, they oversaturate things. Some people might not like that. Some people like the more natural look of the Pixel or the iPhones. I don't mind these because of what I'm paying for it. Now on the front, we do have a 32 megapixel front camera, 3 times optical zoom, 30 times zoom. So again, they cut down on the zoom from the Note 20 and definitely from the S20 Ultra, which was 100, but that had all sorts of problems. So they did cut it down, but for me, 30 is plenty. I do not need more than that for anything I'm going to take a picture of. And video quality on here is fantastic. 4K video. I believe it goes up to 60 frames per second. Look, it's not iPhone quality video, but it's still really good video. It really is. And again, for your everyday user, for your basic people that are going to be buying this phone, they're not professional videographers or photographers. They're taking videos of their families, of their friends, of moments, right? To capture good moments. They're taking pictures of the same thing, of their pets, of places they are, like just things they're doing on your daily, day in and day out stuff. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're using the camera for and shooting videos for. It's all for social media and just for them to enjoy and look back on good moments in their life. So this is going to be fantastic for all of that. So again, value, that's what we're talking about with the S20 Fan Edition, right? Build quality, really good. It is a plastic phone, but I do not mind it at all because of what I'm paying for. It's like people with the Pixel 4a, right? The plastic phone, nobody complained about it because of the price. Now, the difference between the 4a and this phone, I do have a comparison video coming, but mid-range specs on the 4a, flagship specs on the Fan Edition. So a little difference there. Probably a better comparison will be the Pixel 5 or the 4a 5G up against this phone. So again, value $699, and you can find deals out there and get it for cheaper. We're getting flagship specs, fantastic video, fantastic camera, great internals with updates for years to come, right? Build quality on here is solid. Watching content on here is solid. Stereo speakers on here. Battery life is fantastic. Wireless charging on a plastic phone. Reverse wireless charging. Fast charging. We have an IP rating on this phone. Colorways on here are super dope. The navy, the red, they look amazing. 5G connectivity, we get 5G as well. It's something I didn't even mention. We do get 5G support. So we're getting a ton of value here with the S20 FE, one of my favorite phones of 2020. Guys, if you are in need of a phone and you want to upgrade, I can absolutely suggest this phone. Again, one of my favorite phones to use up to date to this point, and it's all about value. I think there's insane value with this phone. It's just a really good piece of tech. Well done, Samsung. That's it, guys. Just my final thoughts, my final review on the S20 FE. $699. It's a steal. It's a great phone, a great piece of tech. Well done. I'm very impressed with this phone. I will continue to use this phone as my daily driver. If you are new, hit that like button. A sub would be much appreciated, but that's it. I'll be back soon. Peace.